So I guess we're just here to do an introductory session for the Masters of Reproductive Medicine and the Masters of Women's Health postgraduate programs, which are run through UNSW and through our discipline of women's health. And I'll start by having an acknowledgement of country, where we would like to acknowledge the Bedical people who are the traditional custodians of this land, where the UNSW Sydney campus is based. And we'd also like to pay our respects to elders both past, present, and extend our respect to the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people who are present with us today. Now, I just wanted to check, now that I've changed my screen, am I still sharing or not sharing anymore?
You're not sharing.
Okay, let's try this. Does that work? So I can navigate the chat as well. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's all good.
Beautiful.
That seems to work.
Lovely. So I guess today we're going to just do a session overview. It's going to be nice and brief. It definitely won't go for an hour. We're going to do an overview of our program, a welcome from your program directors. So the Director of Teaching, Dr. Sean Kennedy, he's currently on leave, so I don't think he'll be joining us, but if he does, then he'll make a guest appearance. The Masters of Reproductive Medicine convener, which is Professor Michael Chapman, who's online with us, and myself. So my name's Danny, and I'm convening the Masters of Women's Health at the moment. We also have Professor Amanda Henry, who's online with us, and she's one of the course conveners, and will be co-chairing Women's Health Masters with me, I'm sure, at some point in the near future. And then we're talking about some of the supports that are available to you, teaching and student supports that are offered through the university, some academic skills supports that are also offered, and then some more broad University of New South Wales supports that are available to you. And I guess the big thing from our point of view, because we convene, teach, guide, and then assess you, is talking about some of the course and assignment expectations, because it is a purely online course. So there are some different things that you'll come across, and we wanted to set your expectations from the very beginning of your journey with us. So from a women's and children's... Oh, yeah?
Hold on. Just stop for a second. Perhaps people would like to know more about you, Danny. And I'll tell them more about me.
Oh, I've got an introductory slide coming up, Prof. But yes, if you want to do it now, go
okay.
for it.
Okay. All right. Well, sorry. I'm
No, that's okay. Jump the gun whenever you like. What I was just going to say is that we're, as a discipline of now women's health, we were the previous School of Women and Children's Health at UNSW. We're marked as being an emerging leader in education and research within our discipline across Australia and internationally. And currently we have over 200 postgraduate coursework students and 70 research candidates enrolled in the school with either Masters by Research or PhDs. Prof. Chapman, who's online, will remember the inception of these courses, which was in 2006, where the Masters of Reproductive Medicine started. In 2013, the Masters of Women's Health then joined. And in terms of our previous students and what you might notice when you are embracing your courses and chatting with the other students, we have students from a number of different backgrounds. So we both have medical and nursing, reproductive medicine career people, so biotechnology, embryology, rep med nurses, we've got acupuncturists, allied health professionals, engineers. There's a very vast array of people that are doing our course for various reasons. We have an average age of commencement which sits in the late 20s to early 30s, but an age range of 21 to 70. And the duration of study for the Masters is on average 2.5 years, with different versions of full-time and part-time equivalents, but some people in as short as 12 months complete all of the modules required. And as you can see from the map here, we've got students that come from all over the world, and I guess being an online Masters program for both of them, then that gives us an ability to teach people globally. So as I said before, the Director of Teaching is Dr. Sean Kennedy. He's a paediatric nephrologist, but he's currently on annual leave. So he also convenes the course in Women's Health of Postnatal Care, and I'll let Professor Chapman introduce himself.
Oh, hi. So you've got it, Professor Chapman. So I'm an obstetrician gynecologist of long standing in the area of reproductive medicine. I started doing IVF in the mid-80s, so I think at the moment the most experienced senior IVF doctor in Australia. Perhaps that's not such a good thing, but anyway, and I've been involved in the University of New South Wales for the last 28 years, supervised a number of PhD students, but also have carried on the master's course after the originator, Professor Driscoll, over to me some decade ago. And it's a fun course that has helped a number of people through both exams and also through their careers. There are various examples of people who've done the masters moving on to higher things, passing the membership exam in our College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, because one of the things that the public health system has not picked up particularly is the IVF area, and so the reproductive endocrinology and infertility learning for our registrars in training is pretty limited, and so this course has been a great adjunct for many of our trainees. Another one from our industry partners, I was talking to her only recently at the Fertility Society meeting in Sydney, who's now the Asian Pacific head of one of the pharma companies, and she was telling me that the only reason she advanced in her career was because she'd done this master's. It gave her a tertiary qualification at a postgraduate level, which was essential in her moving up her career. So people have benefited not only from learning a bit about infertility and endocrinology, but also in terms of giving them a degree that helps them move up in their career. So this term overseeing male infertility, and I have an email address which you'll find, and anything you want to know, please feel free to contact me. We have an interesting because it's online, it is a little bit impersonal. We try and overcome that there are a couple of exercises that you'll do that involve an interplay between you as students, but it is a bit distant, and I suppose all of us have now been through COVID, understand what being online means. It means you can get the work done, but perhaps it's not as personal. But we try and do that as well as we can. So welcome, and those of you that have done other subjects on the way through, welcome back, and hope you're progressing towards the attainment of your masters. Okay, I'll hand over at this point to Associate Professor Henry, who is in a car, and I'm not sure she's.
Would you like to?
Oh, were we going to? Yeah, hi. Were we going to have Jenny as?
No,
a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, we can do that. So my name's Danny. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist by trade, and I also am now an education-focused senior lecturer at the University of New South Wales. I took on this role at the university just over 18 months ago now, from Terry Ferran, who was an amazing educator and has created some beautiful master's courses and modules that we continue to modify and build upon. And both her and Professor Chapman were very integral in setting up both of these programs. So I guess from my perspective, I've got an interest in obstetrics, but I also like benign gynecology and a passion for high-risk obstetrics and research in that field, with an area of interest being the microbiome in pregnancy. And also this term, I'm convening the infections in reproduction for the course. And we have some interactive sessions during our kind of time together, if any of you are doing my course this trimester, which happen kind of on a fortnightly basis to try and make things as personable as possible. But as Professor Chapman said, with everybody coming in from different time zones and different parts of the world, sometimes that's difficult to achieve, to meet everybody's needs for timing. But yes, Professor Henry can take it away to introduce herself as well.
Yeah, hi everybody. Welcome or welcome back, as the case may be. So yeah, I'm Amanda Henry. I'm an academic obstetrician, and I have just ticked over 11 years at University of New South Wales, which feels a little bit scary actually. But mostly in a good way. And I'm the convener of the antenatal care course. And yes, I have been in on the Masters of Women's Health teaching antenatal care since that program started. And yes, Danny mentioned Terry Fran, the previous overall convener, who taught me a lot of what I know about postgraduate education. And Danny's really taken up the baton in this last couple of years. So my course is not a core course for either of the masters, but it is an elective available for both of you, and it is quite a popular elective. So I teach it in 2 out of the 3 trimesters now, and I think I've got almost 50 of you enrolled for this trimester, which is quite a lot. So I'm fortunate to have the help of 3 excellent, relatively junior obstetric consultants who work with me at St George Hospital as sort of tutors. So between the 4 of us, we'll take you through antenatal care, which is usually a very diverse group of our students who do that course. So you know, from GPs, senior doctors with interest in doing ONG, through to the IVF scientists who want to know a little bit more about that side of things, naturopaths, pharmacists, physios, midwives. We tend to get a real spread. And one of the major learning activities in my course is where people give a sort of major PowerPoint kind of online presentation, a little handout, but then we have a couple of weeks of sort of discussion online back and forth about the controversies that are raised by those topics, and that's usually really a real high point of my course in terms of people from different backgrounds learning a bit more about the controversies in pregnancy care. So yeah. Welcome to, you know, whoever's doing my course, but also just welcome more generally to the 2 masters. Thanks.
Thanks, Amanda. So I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about our roles as your program directors. We're your academic advisors, so we're happy to give you some career advice, some advice on selection of various research projects that you might want to do that suit your program and career aspirations. Approval for program leave is our responsibility if it's beyond 3 terms, otherwise it's automatically now done through the Student Hub. And I guess some discussion around your academic progression and pastoral care is also part of the services that we offer and support to you as individual students. There is a general postgraduate email address that is manned by Louise Runkett for our 2 master's programs primarily, and then Louise Metcalf, and then Miss Marcel Runkett, who kind of oversees the coordination of our postgraduate courses, and they're available on this new email address, which is mh.pg@unsw.edu.au. Again, the UNSW library is a resource that you all have access to as being part of our students. We'll put up these slides so you can click on the links in order to attain those support services, and our academic skills resources are available for the students as well through the Student Hub, which include workshops and writing courses, and also some individual consultations and peer writing assistance for your academic skill support. We have found in the last couple of years that depending on which background you come from and how au fait you are with in-text referencing and things like that, that these support services might be invaluable for you as you progress through your master's programs. And again, UNSW has both a wellbeing and a counselling service, so those links will be made available to you as well, and they're accessible freely for all of you. Moodle is our online interface. I know I've just got an email actually today saying that the baseline interface is changing for us all. So I guess we'll all hope that our courses run as they've been running, but we all navigate them as your conveners, and you have access to the different areas of learning, and assessments and course material are all released at certain time points depending on the structure of your course. So this is our online learning management system, which is used university-wide. All of our courses will have a Moodle page where each of you enrolled in that particular course will have access to for the duration of the trimester. It includes the course outline, which gives you an overall outline of each of the courses, the course notes and relevant reading resources. That's also the space where you participate in the discussion forums. And there's other course materials that are available that your conveners might upload at the time. All assessments are to be submitted online via Moodle and turn it in. And all of your grades for your individual assignments will be available through this portal as well. And it's essentially the place where you'll access any information related to your course. And the course Moodle pages are released approximately 1 week before your first class commences. There are late submission penalties. I guess we'll just outline them at the beginning, but we also understand that very occasionally there might be some individual circumstances which delay your submission. If the circumstances are foreseeable, we request that you contact us as your course supervisors and course conveners in advance, and it may be possible to arrange an extension without penalty or assistance in applying for special consideration. We're automatically allowed to do that and grant that to you for up to 7 days after the due date, and anything longer than that will require a formal process through the University Student Hub. Without such prior agreement, the late submissions will be penalised by a deduction of the final grade by 3% per day for a maximum of 7 days after the due date, and 7 days after without extension, the assessment won't be marked. So just something to remember. The other thing we think about is academic integrity. So it's fundamental to the success at the university. Academic integrity can be defined as a commitment to 6 fundamental values in academic pursuits: honesty, trust, fairness, respect, responsibility, and courage. At UNSW, this means that your work must be your own and that others' ideas should be appropriately acknowledged and referenced. If you don't follow these rules, plagiarism may be detected in your work, and there'll be academic penalty associated with that. As I mentioned before, referencing, appropriate referencing is considered an essential component for all academic papers submitted at a postgraduate level. Referencing is a way of acknowledging the sources of information that you use to research your assignments. You're required to provide a reference whether you draw on someone else's words, ideas, or research, and this should be noted within the text at the point where the work is quoted. A list of references or bibliography which follows the text is not considered appropriate referencing, and failing to properly reference another's work can constitute plagiarism. Though all referencing styles are acceptable in the course, the preferred option will be the Vancouver Referencing Convention, since this is the one most commonly used in scientific and medical journals. And as I said before, we've got an email address from us, from our point of view, and you also have a UNSW student email address, and we will use that as our primary point of contact with you, so please keep checking them on a regular basis. You can redirect your UNSW email to your work or personal email address as part of the Outlook setup that you can do. And also we can be sending things on Moodle all of the time, and often you'll get an email update with any discussion board Moodle questions or topics that are raised in that as well. So that's it from me from a formal point of view. I'll stop sharing so I can see you all again, and just wondering if you have any questions for us. Radio silence. I spoke earlier and heard from Mari and Yvonne, who are both doing the Masters of Reproductive Medicine. Dennis or Kate or Kian or Mandy, which Masters are you guys enrolled in? Or Vicky?
Masters of Women's Health Medicine, and it's Katie.
Okay, well, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And sorry for Kate, it's Katie. I can remember that now. What?
Yeah, like Katie, but with a D.
Yes, beautiful. So does anyone have any specific questions on how this is run?
Hello, I'm doing the Masters in Reproductive Medicine.
Mhm.
Just wondering if we should be able to see any of the course work on Moodle yet, or has it not been uploaded yet?
I see that Marcel's joined. I think it'll start being available by the end of this week. Is that right, Marcel?
Yes, correct. So it will be available by the end of this week. But it obviously will be available for sure next week, in week 1, when we start the term 3.
Okay, great. Thanks. Just wondering, just making sure I didn't do it wrong.
Not at all. And I guess because most of you are just starting for your first trimester of study, a lot of you are doing the mandatory course in physiology and things like that for this first one. I guess a lot of the feedback, and I'd preempt that, is that for some of the courses, it's quite a heavy reading workload. And as Prof. Chapman mentioned before, there's that personalization that we kind of lose in that process of offering you the flexibility of online learning. So I just, bear with us as we go through that. There's a couple of tutors this term that want to give lectures and more interactive face-to-face experience. So we're trialing whether that works as well this trimester, and we're always innovating and changing our masters. So if any of you at any point have some constructive or critical feedback for us, we're always collecting that as a university, and we'd really appreciate your feedback. The formal form of doing that through University of New South Wales is my experience, and the survey will be available at the end of the course. But if you have any issues or suggestions during each of your courses, just contact each of your program conveners, would be my suggestion.
One of the things about my experience is that we tend to get all the negatives, and we have the university on our back. We have 40 people enrolled in a particular course. 3 people write something negative, and the university gets on our back. If you have positive things to say, please do say. It balances the university's bureaucracy.
So I do have a question. Just thinking on the note of the trying to be a bit more personal, like with the times for certain classes. Like, are there going to be many classes that are on a certain time, certain day, or?
No, Katie. There's which course are you enrolled in for this trimester?
I'm doing the antenatal and the base anatomy physiology one.
Yeah, so for the anatomy and physiology one, is it the one being run by Graham Hughes? In the Masters of
Not 100% sorry, I'm just checking.
Women's
Is
Health.
that the Women's Health one?
The Women's Health Masters. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah. So Associate Professor Hughes is coming back to take over from another convener who has fallen ill, and so I would have said a couple of weeks ago that no, there will be no classes for that one, but he's actually a very passionate, retired now, isn't he, Prof?
Yeah.
IVF specialist with a myriad of stories and information and a passion to want to teach you. So I think he will be booking in 3 or 4 lectures that he wants to give you guys.
Awesome.
Which I think will be amazing. So we will give you prior notice about the timing for that.
They're also recorded and can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So if you can't get to them, and a lot of people work and have other responsibilities, that's okay. But yes, they will. If he's doing them live, there'll be probably Q&A sessions at the end as well. So that's that. And then Associate Professor Henry can answer for the antenatal care if she wants to.
So for antenatal care, there isn't any formal teaching as such that occurs live, but I will usually every week or 2 weeks just have a Q&A time available, which again is recorded. I have to say mostly people don't actually kind of turn up, or will only come if there's some sort of specific questions about things. And with the tutors, you can shoot the tutor that I'll assign in this next week emails and whatever in between as well. So so you're not locked into having to try and around your busy schedule, because most people are working during the day, fit in a time. It's more to have some ability to do some Q&A as required. Yeah.
Thank you. Good to know, because I just wanted to make sure if there was any that I could have a bit of notice to work my schedule around. But that's good to know. Thank you.
No problem at all, Katie. Any other questions, guys? It's lovely to meet you all. I'm very available. Email me anytime you have any concerns. If we wanted to set up times to chat, that's also fine. But we're all very approachable.
Can I also mention something, Danny?
Of course you can, Marcel.
Sorry, in the slide, the email address that on the slide.
I changed it, Marcel.
No, it's actually not for students. So I will
okay.
copy and paste it. So if you have any inquiries for a student, please contact the Student Hub. So that's the first point of contact for you for your inquiries about program leave or any recognition, peer learning, anything. There's quite a bit of option that you can reach them. You can email or call or even like team chat them. Yeah, just feel free to contact them or your course convener. And yeah, they should be able to reach out to the teaching support if needed.
Thanks, Marcel. Yeah, we've had a big restructure in how our postgraduate courses are run. So Marcel's all over the new avenues for contact. So thank you, Marcel. Okay. If everyone doesn't have any more questions, we can end our meeting. If Prof, are you happy?
Yeah, no, I just ask people to enjoy the courses and hopefully benefit from what you're going to learn.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. Thank you, Prof. Both profs for joining us. Thank you, Marcel. And lovely to meet everybody.